Hello friends, and welcome once again to the Gesundheit Kitchen. And I'm going to start today by saying it is okay to be wrong. In fact, I think being wrong sometimes is glorious because it kind of tells you that you're not going down the wrong way on a one-way street. And I have to admit that I was completely wrong when it comes to kombucha. Because by definition, I should love kombucha, right? It's all the probiotics, just like 9 billion with a B. Probiotic bacteria in some of these, and that's exactly what I try to get into my gut. And we've done episodes talking about sauerkraut and kimchi and yogurt and kefir, and I think I kind of mentioned kombucha, like, oh, there's also this thing, but I was really not a fan. I mean, to be honest, I was not a fan. So it actually took somebody hoisting off, like giving me kombucha, which I very reluctantly took. Like they gifted me. In fact, it was this particular kombucha, the Pink Lady Apple Health Aid. And I'm not saying this to endorse this particular product, but I thought that I didn't like kombucha. It was just too vinegary, too sour, too something. But a friend of a friend gave it to me and said, oh, you'll love it. I took it to be polite, had it in the fridge, opened it again, just thinking maybe I can make a salad dressing, maybe I can do something with it. Tried it and kind of had to have one of those, paradigm shift moments. Like, wait a second. Is this actually kombucha? Did I get the right thing? Or are they gifting me just apple juice? Because it was refreshing and it was clean. I mean, it was bubbly, which, sometimes, especially if you're just after surgery, bubbles can be a little harsh. So, I'm quite a few years now beyond my total gastrectomy, so I can do some carbonation. But it was refreshing and I absolutely loved it. So now I have been venturing out, and so I wanted to kind of, number one, share my enthusiasm, but also, if you have tried it before and weren't a fan, there are so many varieties out now that try a different one. So maybe the one you tried, some people are Mountain Dew people, and some people are Pepsi people, and some people are Dr. Pepper people, and not that I'm at all recommending those sodas, but I mean, they're different flavors for different people, different strokes for different folks. So again, really, really good. So as we look down here, again, not endorsing any particular one product, but there's some really good things happening here. Like this blue one, it's not an artificial color, it's spirulina, which is a natural marine algae, super high, and lots of vitamins. Now, when you open these things, whoopsie, they should bubble, right? This should be that kind of, just like with a soda, they should have that little bit of fizz. And when you first buy them, if you look on the bottom, oftentimes there'll be some sediment kind of at the very bottom. And what the bottle should tell you is to sort of swirl it gently. Don't do the old, shake and run, because if you give it a vigorous shake and then open it, you will be wearing kombucha. And depending on where you're going, it might not be advised. But so you can see the bubbles of carbonation. That's a natural process from the bacteria respiring in there. And again, it's not a heavy carbonation. It's not the kind that'll make you rip with any impressive outpourings of gas. But that looks like a very artificial color. Believe me, it's not. And I've not tried this one, so this is going to be, watch my face closely. This one is mint, pineapple, and echinacea, which is oftentimes prescribed for colds. And as we know, pineapple, we've talked about, it's got a digestive enzyme in there. It does have that slight sour kind of a smell. And again, not in a bad way. I think we sometimes use the word sour as a negative. It has that pineapple-y kind of sour taste. That is surprisingly good. Again, it looks like something from Star Wars as far as the color goes, but really refreshing, not so sour that it tastes like vinegar. And that really was my first impression of kombucha, was very vinegary. And I noticed that one of these bottles actually said not made from vinegar, and I found out that some of these are kind of use vinegar as a starter, but these are not. And so that's kind of, as I was going through the different varieties, that's what I look for. So again, this is the one that was my conversion kombucha, I guess you'd call it. This Pink Lady Apple, and it has apple juice. It's got that kind of a champagne sort of a color. It's got the same kind of like champagne kind of bubble action going on. But my son, who has behind the scenes helped on many of episodes, he also was like, I don't like kombucha. He is a convert now, thanks to this particular one, because it's got that kind of super apple, more apple cider flavor than an apple juice, like strong apple flavor. And again, super refreshing. A little bit of this first thing in the morning, end of the night, helps inoculate, populate your gut. And as we talked about before, with all these probiotic things, these are like little armies of bacteria that help you break down difficult to digest foods. And without a stomach, we have no stomach acid. Or even if you've had a partial gastrectomy, having that redacted or reduced GI capacity means that we need all the help that we can get outsourcing some of the mechanics of digestion, and these bacteria do that. Now, the last one I want to open here is actually technically not a kombucha, it's a kefir. Now, kefirs I've used in the past for cooking demonstrations and salad dressings and whatnot is kind of more in the yogurt family. The kefir is a type of bacteria that they use to inoculate dairy or milk, and so usually you think of it almost like a plain yogurt, or more kind of in the family of like buttermilk. This is a water kefir, meaning that there's no dairy in there. And this particular one is using sort of it's got ginger, it's got lime, but it's also using some of the juice from the prickly pear cactus, which is also supposed to have some digestive enzymes in there. So again, I've not tried this one. It does have, I don't know if you can see in there, it's got kind of a cloudiness to it. And there was a layer of sediment on the bottom. So you do want to kind of give it that little bit of a, not a shake, again, unless you want to wear it. And even still, when you open it, I would just be careful, hear that first kind of open and then close it back a second, let some of those bubbles dissipate, back it off a little bit. If you've ever opened an agitated soda, you know what I'm talking about. Like if you're not careful, it'll go. This one's not quite as bubbly as the kombucha. And as I said, that cloudiness is totally normal. I know on a previous episode we've made lacto-fermented vegetables. You will get that sort of cloudiness. That's just a natural byproduct of those bacteria kind of breaking down some of the sugars, some of the natural starches that are in these juices. So again, this one is ginger and lime. Super refreshing. There's nothing off-putting. In fact, I would say if you're not a fan of the sort of more sour things, this one is the most refreshing, more so than the kombucha. A little more tame, I should say. So maybe think of this as your gateway probiotic drink to kind of get you into those sours. I found that just like when you're a kid, bitter things, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, certain greens, you're not a fan of them when you're younger. Our taste buds absolutely evolve and change as we get older. So if you think you have a predisposition or a strong dislike for a certain flavor, try them again. Don't put blinders on yourself. The only person you're punishing by having a limited palate is yourself, right? So just because you've told somebody, oh, I don't like sour cream or I don't like buttermilk, doesn't mean that you truly don't like it still. As we, in different contexts and different phases of our lives, and also knowing that there are 9 billion little guys, I mean, not to sound weird, but I mean, there are 9 billion bacteria in here they have sort of one goal, and that's to thrive, and that helps us thrive and survive. And any help we can get, a little sour, I will absolutely pay that price of admission for a healthier, more robust, more disease-resistant, healthy, ecosystem. I mean, totally worth that little bit of investment of sour. And again, once you are sort of inoculated into that flavor, I think you'll find, if you've tried it once and weren't a fan, kombucha has come a long way. So I'm going to enjoy the rest of my kefir. It's always great talking digestion and food. If you have any questions, if there's a topic that you'd like to see us cover, please send us an email, let us know. I don't know what you don't know. I'm constantly learning, and if you're not learning, you're not growing. I am so proud to still be alive to talk about these things, and I genuinely think that the energy and the resolve and the resilience that I've had has come largely from the foods that I choose to eat, and I hope that inspires you to do the same. Until next time, take care of yourself, or if you're the caregiver, take care of your loved one. They need you every single day. Be well.